Things. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. Come through. But so, can we take a moment? Because I cannot be running like this. So, this will be my breather. And why didn't I bring water? But I can't even stand up. But let me welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new here, a warm hug and a very warm welcome. Just want to make sure I'm sitting in the right place. And this is Tisha Oliphant. And thank you for joining me. And while you come in, please please comment. Guys, you're pressuring guys. So guys, I'm so busy. Never mind the background, it is hectic. I'm trying to sort out my life. But I thought just to take a breather, because yeah, I promised to come live and I like to keep my promise. I'll just sit and breathe, but I need to be somewhere. I'm looking at this shadow your phone. I hope it's not appearing on your side, and I hope this phone won't overheat because it's still a bit hot in terms of the sun coming through, but it's freezing outside, truth be told. So, guys, I want to talk about a travel insurance and the importance of having a travel insurance. And I would have loved to do this live outside, but I just. I just got back. I need to go out. I need to sort out so many things. So I won't be able and I wanted to go to a park in this cold weather, sit around, listen to the kids playing, and just enjoy some freezing air and speak to you about travel insurance. And welcome, welcome, welcome. And if this is your home, thank you for supporting. Thank you for staying with me and for loving your mom. May the Almighty God continue to bless you. And if you see this beautiful mother for the first time, stay put and make sure you look at this face continuously. It's not a once off. You don't, hey, hold on. Before you think of going to a neighbor or another YouTuber, just hear me out. Maybe you might be interested. What's the rush? So, guys, yeah, thank you so much. And I want to talk about travel insurance. If you are a traveler, guys, it is imperative. And maybe before I start, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. I'm not a certified financial advisor. If you need to know about insurances, about investments, you need to speak to the right people who went to school, who are certified, who have their numbers, registration numbers, accreditation numbers, business numbers, and verify them, because there's lots of scams. But this is from my personal experience, and I want to share with someone who'll say, thank you, Ma. You know what? It's something that normally bothers me. It's a question that I always have, and yeah, I struggle, but yeah, thank you for just sitting down and sharing with us. And guys, I look at your comment. I just don't want to lose my train of thought, because when you read comments, the message is lost along the way. So at the end, I look at the comments. But as you are coming in, take a sit next to your mom, bring something to drink, and let's talk about travel insurance. You're planning to travel, and guys, if you are home, whether Canada, whether you're based in Kenya, wherever you are based, you do make sure you've got insurance. Whether medical insurance, I hope you do make sure, I hope you do have. Whether medical insurance, whether it's and medical insurance, including medical aid, in case you don't feel well, you need to go to the doctor, and sometimes you get to a general practitioner, and the matter is escalated to a specialist. So you need an insurance to take care of such costs, because in most cases, these issues or chronic illnesses or accidents are unexpected, unplanned for, and they come at the time when we don't have money. So when you have medical insurance, you make sure you've got insurance to take care of that side of your life. So most people know about insurance, but It's all about personal choices, whether you have it or not. Some people go to public hospitals because they can't afford medical insurance or medical aid. Others go to private hospitals because they prioritize that. And others is about choices. It's not a matter of affordability. It's about, it's not my prerogative right now. I'm focusing on other things and all that. So we all have different reasons. When we talk travel insurance, we are saying you are still the same human being. In your house, you've got also short-term insurance for your contents. I hope I'm saying it right. Your televisions, your gadgets, that expensive smart watch and alles that you have, those two fridges that you own. You've got a household insurance. We're not going to promote companies because your insurance, how you know that your insurance is great is when you claim. So they all are different, all the same. You'll know who's the bearer of the devils when you claim. They just like banks, eh? They charge us and they take our monies and use it for all the shenanigans for their personal gains. But you so much choose the better devil. So the same thing applies to insurance. So when you've got medical aid, you've got household insurance. I'm not going to count the car insurance because, let's say car insurance as well. You've got, let's say, insurance for your home. Those are is very important parts, aspects of your life that you need to say take care of in terms of covering and protecting in case something goes wrong. So remember, it's a grudge payment because we pay for in case. And if, God forbid, nothing happens, we're praying, we call onto our God and ancestors, you don't claim because, guys, we don't take insurance and sit and say, but I guess I did, when are they breaking in for me to claim? But it's just in case. So when you travel, you're still the same person that has these type of insurances, assuming back at home. So why do some people think when they travel, they don't need a medical insurance? You might still get sick while traveling. You might need to see a doctor. You might need to see a specialist. You might need to clean your teeth and all that stuff. So you do need a travel insurance. And travel insurance is not only for, emergency illnesses or emergency medical costs. It also covers when you lose your bags, a travel insurance, and they all are different, and there's different plans, and they structured differently. You ought to sit and read, and you ought to take one that suits your needs at that point in time while you are traveling. Don't just go for Rolls Royce if you know which you don't need other covers. Look in your personal aspect of life and say, what exactly do I need? Definitely, you do need a medical insurance while traveling because tomorrow is unknown. 2 minutes from now, I don't know what's going to happen to me. I'm just believing and trusting in God. I'll still be sitting here and talking and feeling as great as I'm feeling at this current moment, but you don't know. You could be in a foreign country and something, an accident or whatever. You saw I had a minor accident. I was in Finland with my daughter. And if it escalated, if I didn't have insurance, what then? And it's expensive because they'll tell you pay cash and claim when you get home. So that's when travel insurance comes in. For your medical side of things, if you get sick, if you need to be admitted in hospital, you are covered. It helps you for other people. It's important for them, for their luggages, because there's people who travel with them at drones and cameras, important equipments, and they are surfers or they are top hockey players, and you find Gucci, their hockey sticks cost a fortune. So in that case, you ought to make sure, Gucci, you've got a proper travel insurance that covers in case you lose your luggage bags or something happens. And some of that, the insurance that is also provided is for in case you fall ill and you want to cancel your flight, or you want to reschedule. So the insurance covers you. So when you buy the air tickets, it will provide you with all the, bits and pieces and portions asking you, do you need an insurance in case you cancel this flight? And the price escalates. You know exactly how the price escalates when you choose a seat in a plane. So the insurance is the same. Do you need an insurance if you reschedule? Do you need an insurance if you completely cancel? And read the fine line, because in terms and conditions, you don't want to take an insurance to reschedule your flights and you find yourself needing to cancel the flight. And in most cases, they say 24 hours. You need to give them 24-hour notice or 12-hour notice. Read, because you can't get to an airport 4 hours before your flight and you take her off and you say, but guys, I've got insurance, can I cancel? They're gonna tell you, sorry, you didn't read your terms and conditions, and sorry for you. So insurance covers you for those unforeseen circumstances, and because life is unpredictable, you plan for A and Z happens. So make sure you do look into personal insurance, or travel insurance rather, prior to traveling. There's a number of companies that offers these services. You'll find Uguti, and I'm not going to mention different names. You just Google and read the reviews. Don't just go for anyone. Look and take time to read what other people experiences are, more especially if you don't have the one that you've used and you are happy with. So do check. In terms of medical insurance, what I know is that when you bank with or when you've got a medical aid, got Discovery, without promoting them because they're not sponsoring this live video, you are covered abroad. All you need to do is, if you are traveling abroad, I think you know who to phone and say, I'll be traveling to England for 2 weeks, and I know my medical aid covers the medical expenses abroad. Can I have my medical certificate? Because that's the important document. I know Discovery does cover that. So some people who are covered with Discovery, they don't need to take extra medical insurance when they travel abroad. Someone mentioned another medical aid. I'm not sure if it's GEMS, but it was another one. But you should know. If you are unsure whether your particular medical aid covers your medical expenses or costs in case you fall ill abroad, pick up the phone, go on your email, WhatsApp them. Life is easier these days. Find out before you leave South Africa or before you leave your country to travel abroad. Remember, when you are in Canada going to South Africa, you are going abroad. When you are in South Africa going to Australia, you're going abroad. So it will depend on where you are traveling from. But make sure you take insurance. Then when you buy your ticket, they offer such insurances as well. They'll say emergency medical costs, and if you tick that box, they tell you exactly what will be covered. Take time to click on that plus sign if it comes just below the plus sign and read everything, because you cannot surely take this insurance and get to Turkey and think it will help you to do a tummy tuck. It needs to say tummy tuck will be covered. So if such expenses aren't mentioned, so you must know they will come out of your own pockets. So in terms of medical insurance, definitely Discovery does cover when you travel abroad. In terms of when you buy I know FNB has a certain cards, so a certain credit cards. I think it depends whether you are a private banker or you are within a private banking, you are a premier customer, or you are a private customer. They have these different products depending on your income, how much you earn, how much you make in terms of your profits, if you are your revenue, if you are a businessman or businesswoman. And there are medical or credit cards rather, and debit cards that if you use them to buy your air tickets, you automatically are covered for travel insurance with FNB. I can't speak for ABSA, I can't speak for Nedbank. You can do your homework and find out from them if they do cover that. But remember, with FNB, it's not all the credit cards and it's not all the debit cards. Maybe before you buy your flight tickets, just pick up the phone or go to that live online chat or that it's a chat, and ask the consultant on the other side of the line to say, I've got this debit card or this card, whether it's platinum, premier, you'll mention it, which type of an account you have, and I'm planning, and do it way before you go. So you are investigating, you are researching, you are checking eCoast. I'm planning to go abroad, and can you check for me if I will be covered in terms of a travel insurance with this particular card, debit card or credit card that I have with your bank. And the reason why it's important to find out before you buy your air ticket, but remember, only if you've used the right card to purchase your air ticket, then you are sorted. But if you just bought your air ticket with a totally different card and now you're phoning them, even if it's a correct card, they're gonna check if you used it to buy your air ticket. That saved me a lot of money in terms of covering me for travel insurance if I paid my my flight ticket with the correct FNB card. Then there's again, you call them once it's done, or you email them, or you WhatsApp them, and they send you a medical certificate. So some of the covers will include instances or covers for emergency illnesses, going to specialists, operations, but certain, and the amounts are specified, repatriation of the body if you happen to lose your life abroad, or you just you fall ill and you don't make it, you die, and sorry to say this, and then they'll take your remains back to where you coming from, or your country of birth. But please read. Please read. And if you see Guti, the amount that they cover you for is not enough, ask them, can you pay extra? I'll use an example. If you know, Guti, you've got a chronic illness and the cover that they're giving you is only maybe 5,000 rands, but from back home that when you go to the doctors, you stay in hospital for 2 days or 3 days to treat whatever chronic illness that you have. It, in fact, cost you about 50,000, which means if you're traveling to Europe, it's going to be 3 times that amount or 4 times that amount. So speak to them. And when I say them, I mean the insurance company, and say, I see I am getting covered for my medicals for so much. However, I need extra cover. Is it possible to get extra cover? So it's an important conversation, because you need to make sure you customize it to suit your needs. You don't want to get abroad and then the next thing, oh my word, what do I do now? Remember, in most cases, we save for months to travel. We save for months, for our air tickets, for transportation, for accommodation, for food. And chances are you might not even have extra cash for unexpected emergencies. So do your groundwork before you leave your country of origin and travel abroad. Make sure you have the right proper travel insurance in place to cover the things that I've mentioned. Your medical side of things, if you worry about your luggage side of things, in case your bag gets damaged or your suitcase, if it's those, is it Samson Ton or Samton, those expensive ones, you want them to replace it. But remember, guys, it's admin to claim. Make sure you keep your air tickets. Make sure you keep each receipt that you would have received when you purchased the suitcase. So don't leave any gap for insurance companies to decline your claim, and read what steps needs to be taken prior to even claiming for your claim to avoid ukuba rejected. How you expected to go to the doctor. I know I had one travel insurance where I needed to email them, like the prior arrangement, like those pre-ops where you get a pre-authorization that in September, and this is an example, in September 2024, I'll be going for APC operation, and you request the authorization. So mine was also like that, which I was not comfortable with, because I was thinking, what if I need to get to the hospital as in ASAP? There's no time for such pre-authorization. But they did explain that in such cases of emergency, it is treated like emergency. Therefore, you will pay. And remember, and you need to be clear with your insurance company, some insurance companies don't pay while you are traveling. You need to use your money to pay for those costs, and only when you travel back home or when you feel better while still abroad, then you can claim. So be clear ukuthi in your personal case, if your medical costs are like 50,000 rands, you've got a 50,000 rands sitting somewhere in your kitty just in case. Because remember, if your medical insurance or your travel insurance or your insurance company says you ought to pay for your insurance, you ought to buy a luggage bag if your bag is damaged. I hope nayibona. If your luggage is damaged, guys, never mind the clutter. I'm trying to get things in order. If your bag is damaged, you need to go and buy another bag. And only when you get to a place of destination, then you can take the sleep, you can fill in the forms, you can fight with the world. Because, guys, we know it is such a headache when you claim, but not all insurances or travel insurances are like that. So I wanted to highlight that because it's a very important topic, especially if you're traveling. Not only if you're traveling, insurance is a very big thing for all of us, and there's different insurances for different, it caters for different needs. So and it's personal. It's personal. When I travel, to be honest, guys, I don't bother or cover my luggage, which is high risk, because that suitcase, as we speak, has so many brand new clothes that if I add an amount that I spent there, I should be having a luggage in case, lost luggage insurance with me. But no, I rather pay for things like my medical insurance. Would see if I slip and break my wrist, or crack my wrist, or whatever, fracture my ankle, I am covered. So don't think traveling is only about getting an air ticket and booking accommodation and making sure you'll be eating where you're going, and going for activities. Also take into consideration the unexpected, and make sure you've taken the right insurance, so that if not when, if something goes wrong, you are covered. I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. So I just wanted to tell you that tip. Did you know, if you pay with one of the correct FNB cards, you somehow have covered for travel insurance, but you need to ask which one. Do you have the right one? And you need to buy your air ticket with the right one to be covered. And phone, email, and get your medical certificate. And then there's other insurances. If you unfortunately you don't bank with you don't have a medical aid with the Discovery to be automatically covered abroad, or you don't bank with FNB to buy your air tickets and get this complimentary insurance. You just, when maybe your ABSA bank or your Capitec bank doesn't provide such, then there's companies that provide that. And one of them, without promoting them, is Hollard does. I think I accepted their claim, and most of the applications, and guys, I'm not promoting them. I don't know whether they even pay. I know nothing. You ought to do your own homework. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't work for Hollard, guys. And just disclaimer. But you can even do your application online. Just make sure you do it before, if you are a South African or you're traveling from South Africa, before you leave. So I did mine on the day I was traveling. But please don't, because you are rushing, you are packing, you're doing everything. Do it weeks before you leave, because your insurance will kickstart on the day of travel. And the date that you give, guys, you know how insurances work. So if you're saying, I'm leaving South Africa today, the 2nd of February, and I'll be back on the 14th of February, the Valentine's Day 2024, you are covered abroad only for those days. So if you overstay abroad and you go back to South Africa on the 15th of February, you are no longer covered. And if something hectic happens on your way to the airport, forget it. Forget it, guys. You are on your own. So you'll find yourself maybe in a public hospital of that country, or you'll find yourself in a private hospital and having to pay bills, which is something that can be a big drawback. Those who've been very ill, unexpectedly ill, even with medical insurance, and their medical aids happen to be exhausted, know very well how much of a setback it is when you have to pay for your sick bills or your hospital bills after you've recovered. It's a worst thing ever. So rather give an extra day. Obviously, you'll pay more for that day, or make sure ukuthi you quote the right days. So you can't say, I'll be leaving South Africa on the 3rd, where else when on the 1st, you already left South Africa. So it means from the 1st to the 3rd, you praying, my darling. And God hopefully is listening to your prayers, and nothing happens, because your travel insurance will only kick in on the day that you inserted on your application when you applied for it. And it stops on the day you said, I land in my country of origin on day 7, 2029, not after. So be very careful. Sometimes we want to shortcut, and I understand we're trying to take care of each and every cent and every rand, but when it comes to insurances, guys, please don't take chances. This is about your life. Make sure you rather pay extra, and if you don't have enough, continue investing, continue saving for another month or two before you travel out, because the last thing you want is to find yourself uhleti ebaleni njengebuntembuti without the right insurance when you are traveling. So if you don't have companies that covers you automatically, or you don't work for, it's one of the perks in your company, there are companies that offers travel insurance. Just Google and read up and compare. I don't know if Hippo does compare in terms of travel insurance, but I'm sure they do. I know they do with households and stuff like that, insurance, and see which one is better and read those reviews. Don't just take insurance. And the insurance also differs. If there'll be sections where they'll ask, are you going to be participating in extreme sports, like your diving, your scuba diving, your surfing, your extreme sport, any sport you can, bungee jumping, or I'm thinking of the helicopter one. If you are going to, guys, you'll be island hopping and diving and you are a diver. Tick the yes. Don't say no because they're gonna quote a premium higher. Rather pay a higher premium, but knowing Gucci, if something goes wrong, should something go wrong, your insurance will cover you and you'll be in the safe hands and you won't be heading. Cabanga sowuhlezi, you were here on holiday, sowuhlezi ke GoFundMe and people are donating but with big mouths, and we know our people nje. The fact you are able to travel when they can't. Some people don't receive that well. It doesn't sit them well. It's worse when we come. Mina sengiza ngithi, guys, please Jabulile, let's help Unes, which I personally don't promote and I won't do it. If I want to help Unes, I'll do it out of my personal capacity privately if I can afford it. But imagine saying it's Jabulile, Nonhlanhla, bantu bam, let's help Unes. Unes was visiting US, and while she was there, this happened because unfortunately she didn't take a travel insurance. Now she's stuck in the US with no one to help. Let's all go fund me. Here's the link. Here's the link. Please click and donate. Abantu bathi, "Hayibo, usihlolelani?" In. So just look into your travel insurance before you go on holiday. And if you still see good your budget is enough for everything else but travel insurance, then it means you still need to go kwamlungu. Whether you are the mlungu yourself or you've got the mlungu that feeds you, you still need to just go a bit and save some more so that you travel and you make sure you've got a peace of mind and you are covered. Because yeah, this is life, guys. And yeah, tomorrow, 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, an hour from now, 10 hours from now is definitely unknown, and you don't want to risk. And I always and I'll talk about how I traveled for over 6 months, what I did, and I've shared with you already. Those who watched my live, which I was denied to board a flight to SA, know what happened to me, because it's the worst thing. It's better you include insurance on your air tickets, because you might wake up on the day of flying and you're not feeling well. You're really sick, guys. You can't even drag yourself to the bathroom, let alone going to the airport and sitting in a plane for 30 hours or so. So the insurance covers you for such. But like I said, read those terms and conditions, because maybe on the day is way too late. They expected you to that you should have preempt with crystal ball and see what 24 hours before, hayi ngathi ngizogula, because they also trying to stay on business, because if they don't cover themselves with all these long fine prints and terms and conditions, and guys, I'm not condoning how they run their businesses, is to make sure Gucci they remain sustainable. And I hope this live has helped you in terms of travel insurance. And don't take chances, guys. Do not take chances. And if you are in the dark, ask those who've traveled. There's travel book groups. Go into them and pose a question, which I'll be traveling to this and this country. However, I haven't looked into my meds, and will I be in trouble? But please do know the application is online. You can get even a rough idea or a quote from 3 companies and compare what they'll be covering you for. And you do it online at your own comfort of your home, own time, and then you choose the best. When I did mine, I approached 2 companies, and the one was quoting a crazy amount, and I told them straight, no, I'm not interested. I only budgeted 1,000 for this particular trip, so I'll continue searching until I found Holland, who was able to give me the best cover for what I needed for this particular trip, Yoguze Turkey, for these number of days. And yeah, I was happy and I accepted the code and I've got my travel certificate. And another tip I want to give you, once you get your travel certificate, guys, please share it with your loved ones. I do it all the time. Email it to someone who can at least know what's going on with you, more especially in the case of death, you know. So if you took this insurance and you happen to kick the bucket while traveling, who will know in your family you had taken insurance if you don't share that travel insurance certificate, and that the insurance can pay for a repatriation of your body, you know? So now family says it's donation, can't you did sort yourself out before you left. However, guys, we like to keep things secret. I don't know why. And now wena usuhlezi lapha emakhazini wabo France. Ekhaya bantu wazi wayofela emazweni nkosi yami, kanti you did take the insurance, you are covered, you didn't share the medical certificate with anyone. Share it with your loved one, be it your daughter, your son, your hubby, your partner, your sibling. Make sure you don't only keep it in your email, because if something happens to you and your email abroad, who has access to your information to be able to claim Bohola, to be able to claim Bo FNB and say, look, this has happened to our family member. Can you please assist in bringing her back home? So that is a personal tip that I want to share with you. Another point that I want to share with you, when I traveled for over 6 months, during my gap year, I took a comprehensive travel insurance. It was damn expensive. Obviously, guys, it was for such a prolonged period. And also what made it expensive is the fact that I didn't know when I was going to go back to South Africa. When I left South Africa, I said, when my coffers go dry, then I buy a ticket and go back home, you know? So I didn't even have this huge plan from this country, I go to this country, I stay for day 5, I eat lunch at 3, and I go surf at 10. No, I was just spontaneous. I was just doing things when the Holy Spirit instructed me to do things. Oh, I wish I could go back to that life, but guys, everything good thing comes to an end, certainly. What I'm trying to say is that I took a travel insurance, it was comprehensive, and I came back before it had expired or it was over. So I meant to phone and ask if I would get my money back, which we know, guys, chances are normally slim with insurances. But some do, guys. So do ask. When I was looking for this particular travel insurance or trying to search and asking questions for this one now, Yoguze Turkey, I went back to that insurance that covered me for over 6 months, and I said, by the way, I didn't come back to South Africa on the 15th of Jan 2024 as I had envisioned. I came back home much earlier. Can you compensate me? They said, okay, hold on, ma'am. Give us a second. Let's go through your profile. Guys, if you're working for those companies. Hey, Niasipatis, the headache that you give us. I said, I shall hold, sir. Be my guest, say I've got the whole day. And then he went, he checked, he came back, he said, because you had traveled for 280 what days, unfortunately, you have zero, nada, nothing to get back. Haibo, what does it mean? No, if you were out of South Africa covered by our insurance for so many days, then we would have given you something back. But in your case, you had traveled for over 280 something days. Guys, I no longer even recall the exact days because they weren't serving me. I wasn't going to get a cent out of that. So I don't know. I felt good. Oh my word, I should have taken an insurance for lesser days, but rather over cater than under cater. We always say that even with weddings, you don't want guests alambila khulumela futhi sesize siyodla KFC mara size emshadweni. So you rather over cater for the guests, not over cater to wastage, but you add couple of heads because you know us most we bring a +1 even when we're not supposed to. So apply the same concept. You would okay, let me, in case my African brothers bring a +1 and African sisters decide on +1, these +1s end up being 20 pluses. Let me buy, a leg of lamb to cater for those pluses. So rather do the same thing, more especially if you are unsure of the dates. But if your dates are clear on when you are leaving your country of origin and when you are returning, departure date and arrival date is clear and the ticket is clear. Take insurance only for those days. Don't play with your money. Only if you are unsure, rather put some little buffer or put dates, because I was told I can extend, but it doesn't mean when you extend they're gonna accept your application for extra insurance. And I think they look at how you conducted yourself, and I don't even think it's about conducting yourself. Obviously, if you're ill, you're gonna claim. So I think they look at your claim record and say, she's high risk, he's high risk, and when you want to extend, they penalize you and end up saying, no, sorry, rejected. So I was avoiding that. I said, no, let me rather make it for much longer days than shoot myself on the foot. I hope this live helps someone who's wondered for days, what's this travel insurance for about? How will it help you? It really, really does help. And if, guys, you've got another point, or you know what else is covered by travel insurance and it's a point I didn't include or I forgot to talk about, please drop it Google comment section where you say, when I traveled, I took travel insurance and I made sure I also cover for ABCD, so that other people can later on read your comment and learn and make sure maybe for someone else that part of a cover is very crucial and they can also make sure they are covered. Thank you, my babies. I want to check the comments again. Ningathi, oh, Uma, ukuthi nje once I come, I read, I talk, I read. I guess then I end up forgetting to even share important information. Unesma Hlalela uthi Mami dearest, ave ngikuthanda ma wami. Someday I'm gonna visit you. Egoli, you must. Nes, where are you based, sweetheart? You must come any day, sweetie. As long as I'm available. We live by appointments because we are busy beings. I'll definitely give you my airtime, Mommy, dearest. Hi, Jabulile. Thanks for being here, sweetheart. If you are still here, but yeah, ngiyanas ngithanda ukufa nami ndinithanda ukubhubha gqithi. I'm in Middleburg in Mpumalanga. I once saw you like Middleburg. Ngangizothenga isethe apron kanonzi. I just clicked with you. Love you too, please. How about Tungnes? I wonder umbuphi kumntana, because guys, the support we received in all of those meets and greets. Thank you so much, Ness. I hope and pray that the apron is still treating you well. You're still rocking your cooking with Nonzi apron. I wish I could show you mine, but it's already in that suitcase. I don't leave it when I travel. So I brought the apron only. It's not the full set. And thank you for your support, babes. It really humbles me. But we're still going to do the meet and greets, and don't you worry. So we were coming from Wheatbank, then we went to Middleburg before heading to Nelspruit. I remember very well. Oh, throwback Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, guys. Throwback Friday, guys. It's Friday. I didn't even realize. Lovely mom. Lovely Nonhlanhla Madondo, lovely child Bonsile Mthembu, my baby girl. Uti hi family, hi, bon notes from my pets. Umhabulo. I wonder what is umhabulo and what you were talking about. If it was part of your content, I wonder what did you habula while you were getting your travel insurance. Yeah, but maybe that Muhabulo made sense at the time, and because I'm reading it only now, I'm sort of a bit confused, you know. Cikizwa uthi, hi mommy, hi my baby. Thank you so much for your support. Nina Nabobonsile, and you are always here. You are so confused. Ubabul, guys, can you bring me up to speed? I am so balance lad. Nikona Mayo Live, so are very informative. Thank you, Chablile. You know, I try and yeah, and share and hope you guys will also be able to share if you've had my experiences. So don't let it come only from mommy, guys. Nani, you have so much to give. So don't hold back or hi ngizothini mina ngizifakela okwami which wasn't that big. There's no small, there's no big. You know, information is information. I've never heard someone saying, I'm here with the small information. I'm here with information, you know, even if you were traveling maybe from one province to the next and you just made sure Uguti you are safe by doing ABCD in terms of your insurance and protecting your life, that will help someone in terms of your traveling. And traveling within provinces and talking about that, or traveling to countries by car, always make sure go to your spare wheel when you go to the filling station and you fill up the petrol and it's a road trip. I'm talking road trips now that I think of this, nothing is small. Make sure when you inflate and you make sure which the ibizwa in your tires is pashash, the spare wheel is also taken care of. So you cannot possibly be driving from Johannesburg to Limpopo with a car that doesn't have a spare wheel, or you last checked a pressure a spare wheel yakho when you were buying the car or driving the car from a dealership. So those are it's part of travel insurance that doesn't speak to the bigger scheme of things of having to take the actual insurance online. So, but you can also, I mean, the fact that you make sure your headlines are working and your seat belt your kids are on, you know, car seats at the back and your seat belts are working fine. That is part of a travel insurance, but it doesn't have to be travel insurance as in the way I'm talking on the bigger scheme of things, where you look for companies. You can also make sure you've insured your life and the life of the loved ones, and like avoid making sure you don't drink and drive. That is your travel insurance. If you drink and drive, then you've messed up with your travel insurance, because if you are in an accident, I can bet you, and you everyone survives, you'll be lucky if the insurance. In fact, the insurance company is not even gonna pay for that claim. You know, your disc, sure your disc hasn't expired, making sure your license hasn't expired. Guys, ikhuluma so ngidliwa amahloni ngeyami. Ngathi ngiyaya ngathola ukuthi i-date ithi only one date was available in Central. God, guys, what's going on? What's going on, Mara? Can you tell me for my driver's license? So those are the protection and the travel insurance. I can now take Unonzi as her dream is to go to Lesotho. Oh, nayingane ngeLesotho ngiyoyenzani? Guys, I love Basotho, but Lesotho was not on my list. But the way Notes is begging me to take it to Ditaba tsa Lesotho. So I can't take Unonzi to Lesotho on a road trip when my insurance, oh, my driver's license had expired, you know. So that also, you sit down. Yes, mommy, I always say to you, take whatever I share, put it right on your lap and say, okay, Uma is talking about this. How can I bring it home? How can I then, how does it relate to me, Uchablile? You know, yes, Uma is talking about her traveling to Turkey, her taking her gap here, her going all over the show. But me, I travel a lot to KZN. I travel a lot to Soweto, maybe from Tembisa. How do I use the information that Mom is sharing to make sure Guti, I am safe? What is my travel insurance in my own space? So personalize the information and use the information as high level as it can be. You can bring it down and make sure it speaks to you as a person. But thank you so much, guys, and thanks for liking. And those who are gonna join later, you know, the replayers, and are gonna have questions, drop them here. And if you're gonna have comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. But I urge, beg, plead with you to say, do not take chances. Just sit down and look into your insurance before you travel. Make sure you're covered. You don't want to be left stranded. You don't want to be, in bed kuma foreign countries ungasakhona ukubuyela kubantu abakho. Guys, niyalazi ikofi olenze endlini limnandi kanjani kunekofi lasesibhedlela. I don't care whether it's a private hospital. You always say, Lord, can I be discharged in Jesus' name? Just for you to go and have your cup of tea at home, your cool drink, if you like fizzy drinks, in your own glass. Boyibamba uyithi uphuza uthi hayi kumnandi ukuba semzini wami. Nani niyayenza kanjalo yimi kuphela? Mina guys menginyathela kami. Ha! Kithi kulo igcwele. When I come back from work, come back from wherever, mina guys, I appreciate. Bengiphuza ngecup lami ngithi, oh, just look at this cup. Leso sikhathi I bought this cup ePep, but it's bengilibeka la. Hey, lize liyatofozela so. Philani impilo, guys, and you don't want to be stuck in a foreign country. Make sure you do have a travel insurance. Mapula Malachi, my baby. Hello, sweetheart. Qinile Dlamini. Utsini wena wenene. Guys, I'm so glad. Guys, I am so glad. After days and days of looking and searching, my baby has finally, one of my kids has finally said yes to the dress, but I'm so drained. I am so drained. So the dress is right here, heavy as ever. Heavy as ever. I don't know how many kgs. Guys, I'm told the luggage, the boutique, they call them boutiques here in Turkey, will be closing soon. Let me go and buy another suitcase. Yo, da fatigue. So I'm going to buy a luggage bag, and I didn't cover it. Don't have travel insurance for it, and come back and continue packing. And yeah, because my hours are numbered here, my days are numbered, but I had fun, and I'm hoping there's a very nice coffee shop that I so love. Guys, I fell in love with, but funny enough, I get there and drink a hot chocolate. I fell in love with tasting some coffee, not too much because I'm not a coffee person, when I was in Guatemala, because they have the best of the best. So even here in Turkey, Nons and myself have tried different places in terms of, you know, coffee shops. And I'm hoping I'll go and say my goodbyes to this one. But you take a bus and it's a drive. So yeah, I think nighttime, I'll go there maybe around 8 and spend like 45 minutes just sitting by myself and sipping on that cup of coffee, and yeah, thanking God for the gift of life and for the opportunity, and yeah, glorifying and praising Him and asking Him to just keep on blessings and taking care of me even beyond this life. When I finally leave this earth, may He open His loving arms and say, Joyce, you've done well, my child. Those are the things I pray for. But thanks, my darlings, or else I'll go on and on with my own stories. I love you so much, guys. I love you. I love you. And thanks for your support. It doesn't go unnoticed. And those who've subscribed and they wonder, what is this woman all about? Stay put. You will soon find out. But while you're staying put, go to the old videos. They will tell you exactly what this channel is about. So yes, guys, look out for travel insurance when traveling. And like I said, within provinces, from one town to the next, make sure you are safe and you are sound. You don't want unnecessary drama. We've got so much drama in our lives. What you can avoid, make sure you do avoid, and take care of us by paying someone in case something goes wrong. But we always pray nothing goes wrong. Thank you, darlings. Let me love you and leave you and say, Mwah! God bless.